I think 2021 is going to be a tough year. I mean, even if they get a vaccine by the first of the year, they got to do all the doctors, the nurses, I would hope the school teachers, and, then the police, the firemen, then the old folks' homes, and two of the leading vaccines require 2 shots a month apart. So instead of 300 million, you need 600 million.
Well, no, you're not going to need 300 million because there's like 48% of the people say they're not going to take a vaccination.
And if enough people drop dead from this, they'll get the shot. I mean, you talk to the family people who have lost members to this virus, and it's a real wake-up call.
My son had it. My son, my daughter-in-law, and my daughter-in-law's sister.
Yeah.
He's got asthma, so there was a big concern, but he wound up being okay.
Yeah, I mean, your odds are better now. I mean, when you went into the hospital 7 months ago, your survival chances were not real good. Now they say the survival rate's less than 1% if you go into the hospital. So your chances to survive now are much better.
Yeah, I think 99 point something survival rate.
They're figuring it out, but I don't want to go to the hospital.
Me neither.
No, my grandmother was 94 and she went to the hospital and passed away with complications with COVID.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Was she in a nursing home or anything?
No, she lived in Liverpool, England, and she was very ambulatory and really had her wits about her too, which was great. But her body was just kind of giving out a little bit, and she had to go in for a certain thing, and then caught COVID there and never left.
Well, UK is going into a hard shutdown Saturday. I mean, everything is shutting down.
Yeah, and they showed today on the news, I think the shutdown starts Friday morning their time, I think it is. Everybody was out, the restaurants were crammed today with people going out because tomorrow they're closed.
France did the same thing a week ago, didn't they?
All of Europe. Belgium's the worst. Belgium's the worst hit city in Europe. But in the end, it's going to be India. India is going to pay the highest price.
Well, they're very high dense population.
Yeah. The 1918 epidemic killed 13 million people in India out of a population of 300 million. And, they got no way to stop it in the slums and that in India. No way. How do you socially distance? You got 10 people in a room or whatever the hell they have. No chance.
Yep.
I was really surprised when I was in Montana. We didn't go to any restaurants, and we did all our grocery shop, and I did it all here online with the curb pickup, but I was surprised the number of people not wearing masks.
Yeah. My friend in North Dakota said way less than 50% of the people in North Dakota were wearing masks. But North Dakota, South Dakota are the epidemic center right now. They have the highest infection rates in the country. So,
and not a very densely populated state.
And it's hitting the rural areas in Dakota really bad. I mean, that's
part of that, most of that's from the Sturgis Bikers rally.
Yeah.
Because they had a huge turnout, and I don't know if you've ever been there or not, but it's incredible. I mean, nothing changed. Looking at the videos of it and talking to my friends back there, nothing changed. They were all interacting. They were all drinking. They were all, swapping kisses out in the main roads and everything. Nothing changed. And all of that, Nebraska, Wyoming, Montana, all of those where people go there a lot, all of their rates are much higher right now. Huge from the bike rally that they're tracing back.
What's changed is there will be a lot less of them next year.
Well, it's going to drive our hospitals into bankruptcy. They're talking about all the rural hospitals that are just we're losing a huge number of the rural hospitals. It's a real disaster in this country, the number of the smaller hospitals that we're losing. And they don't have the equipment, they don't have the manpower.
It's not that, it's that a lot of it, they're canceling their
Elective.
their surgeries, all their electives, which are for a hospital, those are their bread and butter.
Yeah.
So they're canceling all of those that are insurance covered, prior authorized, their insurance, they're canceling all those. They can't do all those. A, they don't have the staff to cover, and B, that's how you decrease your traffic in there. And a lot of people on their own are canceling that. I think you'll see an increase in them here in December because everybody's trying to meet all of their deductibles that they took out for their insurance, their flexes and things like that, but still not enough. So all the bread and butter surgeries, colonoscopies, all of that have been canceled, especially in the smaller hospitals.
I had to go into the hospital about 3 weeks ago, and I was required to have a COVID test 2 days prior, and
Everybody is. Yep, everybody is, no matter what procedure you have going on.
When I talked to my friend in Bismarck last week, he said there was one ICU bed left in Bismarck, which is, I think, the biggest town in North Dakota. Bismarck and Minot are the only two big towns. He said there was one bed left in Bismarck.
The Dakotas were exporting ICU cases to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Boom.
They're just not set up for it. I mean, there's only probably 400,000 people in North Dakota. They're all a bunch of tough old Scandinavian farmers that never go to the hospital till they drop dead. So they don't need a lot of hospital beds. And,
The demographic in Sturgis was probably what made me very curious, because the demographic is a higher age bracket.
it's AAW, bald, fat, old, and white.
So, yeah, it's and then most of them aren't in the best physical shape. So
Obese.
it's like,
Obese.
I'm trying to be nice.
That's why they had those big Harleys, so they got to move that gut around.
Well, they put
Right.
the carbon monoxide poisoning on top of everything else.
Oh, yeah. And they smoke like trains, not just the motorcycles.
Well, and a lot of it's just for show. You know,
Right.
the people who go there aren't all Harley people. I was born in Deadwood, South Dakota. So, and my grandparents were in Lead, South Dakota. So I spent a lot of time, even as a kid, going and looking at the Sturgis bike rally.
Mm.
I went in 2014.
Did you really?
Yep, one time, and that's all it. But I had a
That's all it
Honda.
took. Yeah.
I had a
A
Honda
bunch,
Gateway.
a bunch of my
I
bunch
like
of my police friends go every year. I don't know if they went this year.
Hmm.
Hey, I got last month. I got a persimmon tree that blew down off Twilliger.
Oh, really?
Anybody ever turned persimmon?
It's wonderful.
I could
Yeah.
try it.
It's the North American Dalbergeron. You know,
Yeah.
it's like ebony, only white.
Yeah, it was about a 70-year-old tree. It had rotten roots, and the windstorm, that 1st of September windstorm, blew it down. And Masa called me up, and we
It's-
went over and cut it
Old
up.
golf clubs used to be made out of persimmon
Yeah,
woods.
I got the book out. I'm trying to figure out what the hell do I do. They said the biggest problem with it is it really likes to crack when it dries.
Yeah.
So as soon as I roughed it out, I waxed it, and then I put it in bags with dry chips. And now I've changed the chips 3 times, and I had got 15 bowl blanks, and they're all okay. And then I had like 5 rounds that I'd used for the spheres. I left them out maybe a day long, and 2 of them cracked.
Yeah.
I mean, just in a day. So it's going to be interesting to see how it was very nice turning wet. What I don't know, and clearly very dense. It cut clean,
Take the
oxidized.
It's like, any of the other Dalbergerons, except it's white or yellow.
Yeah, it comes from Florida. Yeah, it looks like boxwood. You'd have a really hard time
Yeah.
telling it different from boxwood. But it was interesting. It almost immediately starts going gray, the surface on the wet wood. I mean, it oxidized gray within just 15, 20 minutes. And now it's all just gray. So it'll be interesting to see once it's dry,
That gray will cut off, and when you put it to some sort of surface finish on it,
yeah,
whatever it is, that'll slow it down. I'm
yeah.
trying to think. I've got several older pieces of persimmon here that no, there's still, they have not gone back to gray.
Well, I think once the water's out, then there won't be any chemical process going on.
Mike, I have a question for you. Is it possible to sharpen a brad point drill bit?
You buy a new one.
Buy a new one?
I would.
Why would it be any different than any other drill bit?
Oh,
Well,
yeah, they're different. Regular,
that's pretty easy.
well, it's got a point at the
got the
top,
point.
and then it goes in, and then it's got another one. So I know you've had ways that you sharpen drill bits, and I've looked at this and thought, nah, this isn't gonna work.
I think you can only sharpen the brad point unless you sharpen the flukes by hand, the outer.
Just a
On
diamond
an
plate.
1/8" drill bit and a 1/4 inch, I don't think so.
Those come in lots of 12, don't they?
I know that Carbide Saw used to have an ad up down there at 40th and Division. Carbide Saw could sharpen brad point bits, but I'll bet you there's a certain size that below it's not cost effective. I mean,
Well, the thing is, I've got this case of DeWalt brad point drill bits, and I really, really like them. But the ones I use all the time, I've had to replace a couple of them.
Yeah, you can buy them singles.
I know. But I thought, well, maybe Mike would know because he's sharpened lots of drill bits.
And drill bits, just the standard drill bit is easy to sharpen, but
Yeah.
that brad point just sort of, yeah,
Changes.
I normally break them before I have to
yeah,
sharpen.
that's true.
I drop my drill on the floor and I shorten them quite quickly.
I don't do that too
Yeah.
often.
Usually on my metal lathe is the one that I have to sharpen. I have to pay attention when I sharpen those, the ones I use on my metal lathe.
I actually have a little Stanley jig that you bolt onto your grinder. I thought, what kind of a wimpy little thing. By God, it did a great job. I went through one day, I set it up and sharpened all my regular drill bits.
Yeah.
I didn't thought this is kind of a wimpy little system. By God, it was just really worked well.
What brand was it, Dale?
Stanley. It was just an old. I don't know where I inherited it from. It was an old. It still have it in the original box.
There's one called Drill Master that you run off your hand drill.
Oh, yeah?
It looks really kind of wimpy and plastic, but it works really well.
I had no success freehand sharpening drill bits. I couldn't get them balanced.
Get a drill doctor. They work down to a 1/16 of an inch and up to 1/2 inch. They're
But
good.
they don't do brad points.
No,
Probably not for that.
But I like the brad points.
I have an old Black & Decker drill bit sharpener that I bought at a yard sale probably 25 years ago. It was new in the box, and I'll tell you what, that thing never misses. It's easy to use. You just pop it in there and 30 seconds and that bit's sharp. The only problem I'm having with it right now is I probably ought to replace the stone and I can't find one.
yeah.
They don't make one that small.
No,
No, it's that big.
Oh, it's big. Oh.
Yeah, it's a pretty good size. It's almost the same size as a grinder.
Hmm.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, but it'll do up to a 2-inch drill bit. I might have to take the wheel off the right side and put it on the left side because that's.
I know a lot of you guys know Dave Schweitzer up in Shelton from DUA Tools. His wife died 2 weeks ago Saturday.
oh,
Oh, really?
She had colon cancer 7 years ago, and by God, they stage 4, and they saved her for 7 years, but it came back last month, and you know, just super nice lady and everything. Nice guy. Now, Dave, you know, sold the company to Jimmy Allen. We've had
Yeah.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Allen.
How's Dave doing? Because he had some health issues.
Yeah, had the family there. I talked to him early last week, and we had a good talk. He's got a lot of family taker. They, you know, thank God to the virus, can't do a funeral, and so they're going to plan to do a funeral maybe next summer when we can get together. Just nice people, just
Yep.
really, really nice people. And just, we had a meeting yesterday of the AEW Turners Without Borders. And we're going to launch a program this coming year, reaching out to the Spanish-speaking world, Puerto Rico, South America, Spain, and set up some demos and stuff, all in Spanish. I mean, the world's going to virtual demos.
Right.
Borders don't mean anything, you know? So,
Have you got anybody lined up to do the demos or?
well, we do. We've started. Actually, Adam Luna's got the equipment. He's going to
Yeah.
do a
that's-
demo for Seattle, I think, this month. And he hooked us up with a guy from Uruguay. And then we've got Avelino, not Avelino, Archival.
Yeah.
Emiliano.
Juliano Archibald,
Oh, yeah, over in Hawaii.
right.
So, and Adam's from Peru. So we really want to use the native speakers to do the demos. So, you know, it's just going to be give it a shot. And, you know, we've pretty well saturated the US and Canadian market, you know.
Yeah. Are there many chapters in South America?
Oh, there's no chapters in we have a chapter in Puerto Rico, but no chapters in South America, but there's no organizations down there either. There's a couple of Facebook groups, and so that'll be where we start. And, you know, it's just an experiment to see if we can provide something. And, you know, maybe we'll end up, one of the thoughts is we'll end up translating some of the other demos, like say Ellsworth's or Jordan's that are done in English, but, you know, get a Spanish speaker to translate it. And, you know, it'd be a way of something they could download in Spanish. Because there's not much out there in Spanish, either written or video in wood turning. So.
Did you ever see the video when Ashley Harwood went someplace up the Amazon? I assume that it was Portuguese, but it was an interesting outreach she did. So the people who are out in the rainforest harvesting some of the exotic woods that we get here, she took a couple of lathes, like mini lathes for them, and taught them how to turn and got them set up. That might be another interesting connection along the same lines of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, we've hooked up with, what is it, Greenwood? Is that the one, Kathleen?
Yeah, it's Greenwood.
Greenwood, it's an organization to help the indigenous people, you know, manufacture stuff out of their local woods. And we've actually sent, 2 of the pedal-powered lathes down there up into these villages. One of them, I want to say Guatemala, maybe?
Yeah, I think one went to Guatemala. I'm not sure where the other one went.
Because they got lots of kids and they got no electricity.
Lots of pedal power.
Yeah, well, you're up in the woods, you know, that's just the way it is.
Got to teach them to keep a constant RPM.
Yeah. Yeah, when we went down, I think it was Atlanta, BJ Hatcher down there in Atlanta built, you know, used that pattern that AEW has and built it. When they got done there, they dismantled it and sent it down to somewhere in the hills of Guatemala. And then Greenwood got them manufacturing mallets. I think they ended up having Lee Valley up in Canada agreed to buy so many mallets per year, you know, and so.
Part of the problem was.
Hang on.
You
Okay, we're getting lots of people dialing in here.
Hi, Mike.
Good deal.
Good evening, everybody.
Tom.
Hey, Tom.
I
Hey,
see
Willie.
Nan- I see
Willie, you
Nancy
didn't
lap, but it doesn't look like a Nancy lap.
Yeah, I saw Nancy a while ago and then she disappeared. Tell Nancy to come back in.
Okay, just, I'll get it.
Okay.
Hey, Steve Newberry, how did the Frogwood auction do? Do you know,
I haven't seen it. You should ask Tom.
Tom?
Yes, sir. We grossed about $7,100
Oh, okay.
and we've got under 500 in expenses, so we did very well. And I think what is more encouraging than the money is the reaction from people who were involved and the people who saw it.
There were some nice pieces in it. I bid on 2 of them, but somebody outbid me at the last minute.
We were quite pleased with how it came on right at the end. I think on like Thursday, we only had about $4,500 worth of bids. So in the last 2 days, we added quite a chunk. So we were pretty happy, and everything has been shipped off now. So
I would have bid on that one down at the bottom with all the little pieces, the precious, but I didn't have any place to display it. So
Dale, that one was right up your alley. You and
I
Joe
bid on the
Sutler.
2, I bid on the 2 boxes by margin. with
Yeah.
the cast finials or whatever. Those are pretty
Yeah.
cool.
With April Audie's finials. Those were very nice.
Yeah.
There were a lot of nice things there. Kaylee's bowls were really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it went well, very well received. So
What's the chances
Hey,
of
everyone.
Frogwood for next year?
you know, we are keeping our powder dry. There comes a go, no go point with getting travel arrangements and health arrangements and everything. So, man, if COVID keeps going the way it's going in Oregon today, it might not happen in 2021, in which case we'll do another round of distance collab. We're looking at, you know, we're being creative, and you're never quite sure what this crowd is going to come up with, but it usually gets some interest and produces some cool stuff. So just keep your eye on your email and go to frogwoodcollab.com and add your name to our mailing list so you get our notices.
Just to let everyone know that last week we had a board meeting for Gathering of the Guilds, and we've decided to cancel it for next year and plan on 2022 for our next real meeting.
Do you want to sit in there?
Oregon
Okay, I think we're about ready to go. Could everyone go ahead and mute themselves? So let me just put up the agenda here. So basically, usually start at the meeting. We have any new members with us tonight? Someday we're going to get back to normal and actually have some new members. On the business side, the main thing for this month is the elections for 2021. All of our board members have agreed to stay on for next year, except Larry, our secretary, who may have some issues coming up next year. So we're basically looking for a new secretary. So if anyone is interested in taking on that role, just let me know. It's the main thing is to attend our board meetings, which are once a quarter, and take good notes. And so that's the majority of the job of the secretary. So let us know if you're interested. I may be recruiting some of you, seeing if you would respond to a personal invitation. John, you have any AAW updates you want to bring up?
The only big thing, we've got a couple of board meetings, our annual November meeting, which is going to be a couple of long days, but we will also be electing our executive committee again November, and there's a lot of new things going on, a lot of new initiatives, but keep an eye on the website because they've been updating it pretty good. And then we've got 2 new board members coming on first of the year, and Kathleen will be busy until the end of the year.
You have any idea how the David Ellsworth demonstration went remotely?
Kathleen may be able to answer that better than me because I was off hunting.
Yeah, it was very, very well received. I think there were 1,700 people that attended. John Jordan is coming up on November 21st, and then WIT Presents will have Kristen Levere on December 5th, I believe it is. But yeah, David's went really, really quite well. There were a few technical glitches, but it was good. It was very good.
Because we have a David Ellsworth plan for early next year, I think March or April. And I don't know if he's going to do the same thing or not, but we're anxious to see how that goes.
Well, this was his first presentation, so he's a novice in the online, but doing a good job.
Good, good. Okay, let's move to show and tell. Bill, you want to take over here?
I sure do. Let me pull up my shared screen. You want to do the challenge first?
Whatever.
Okay, challenge was Cooksa's, and we got some really awesome ones here. Let me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this one is from Jason Goodrich, and it's just beautiful. Jason, are you on? I think you're on. I think I saw you on there.
Okay.
You want to talk about it? Jason?
Yeah,
There.
sorry, I was just grabbing something. So this was from the apple tree that a bunch of people from the club were harvesting the other day. It was a lot of fun, turned out pretty well. You can see a little bit of a crack up there on along the rim. I wasn't too surprised since it was green wood, but it was more for fun than something that I was too worried about. But great challenge, great demo last month. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was really great.
And I went kind of oversized on it just because.
Big gulp.
Yeah.
The next one is Joel Smith. Joel, are you on? I think you're on.
Yep, I'm on.
Yep. Awesome.
So this is just a little piece of big leaf maple, and it was something I've had in my shop for a few years. So it's totally dry. And I didn't quite follow the demo process, but I still wanted to make one. So you probably tell that I did a fair amount of off the lathe sanding on some parts of that.
It's great. It's awesome. And then the last one is Mr. Newberry.
So I'm not a member of the challenge. I just figured I'd show this one. I think it may be Madrone root burl, but it turned out nice.
Yeah,
Dale,
really
do you
cool.
think that's Madrone?
I think it's cherry. I think it's
Really?
cherry burl.
Okay.
Cool.
Good job.
Okay. And now let's go to Where are we? Show and tell. Can you see it, everyone?
Yep.
There we go.
This is Dave Wood.
Yeah,
Dave,
this
are you on?
I'm here.
Great.
This was a piece of redwood burl that I bought when we were on our trip in 2018 that I forgot about. It was in the back corner. When I cleaned out for all of Larry's bowl blanks, I found this piece of wood. So and then I like putting rims on bowls. That's just some spalted maple that I had, scraps. And so it's, oh, and my first experience with epoxy fill, and I'm not sure I would do that again on wood like that, but it worked well. It came out nicely and it turned easily.
Very cool.
But yeah, very.
So how'd you make the rim? Did you?
Oh, you just, I cut them at, just set your chop saw at 15 degrees. You have a 30-degree total angle with 12 segments. So each piece, the ends are 15 degrees on each piece. And then, so you glue those together on a flat surface, and then get that dried, and then put it on you have to flatten the piece of your bowl blank and glue it on. You don't have to do it when the blank is still solid, but you need to leave at least an inch of rim that's perfectly flat, and then glue it on, and then just turn it as if it was another piece of wood. And
Cool.
I used to use tight bond or wood glue between all the pieces, but it takes forever and a day to get them to dry. So I just use the thick super glue, and it seems to work fine. And it holds up long term. I've got some bowls that are 8 or 9 years old, but still the rims are, between all the pieces, are still intact and solidly so. But yeah, I never thought twice about turning cedar or redwood, because it seems to me like it's such a soft wood that it wouldn't be a good thing, and yet this burl turned out quite nice.
Yeah.
So I'm a month late. It would have been a entry for last month's burl challenge. But,
yeah.
But I've been kind of busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my
Good
latest.
job.
That was a pretty piece
Good job, Dave. And the next one up is Jason again. Jason, this is the most creative thing I think I've ever seen.
Well, it wasn't totally unique. There's a new video by Tim Yoder. He did the hand recently and put out plans for it. So all the dimensions for each of the finger bones.
Wow.
My wife loves Halloween. Her birthday was this month. And then my youngest son's birthday was even later in the month. So we're quite the Halloween decorated house. So I knew I had to make this immediately for my wife.
Oh, that's great.
But it was all spalted maple from a tree in my backyard. And then the one Tim did was just the hand. And I went ahead and added the forearm bones. And I did some calculations. The dimensions of this would go along with someone that was about 13 feet tall. So I was thinking about using it for handing out candy, put the bowl on it and hold out at the end of the arm. Didn't end up doing that, but it was a really fun project, a really cool challenge. If anyone's interested, like I said, Tim's got that video, and then the plans are really good for how to make all the pieces and put it together.
Very cool. Very great. Okay, Joel again. Adding to your rolling pin collection.
So I really wanted to show the one in the middle because I made that out of a dead branch from the apple tree wood cutting party that we had. I got a really nice truckload of wood from that event, and while I was there, I was like, well, I'm gonna grab one of these dead branches and see what happens. But I was able to mill it up on my bandsaw, and half of it was cracked to the point of being firewood, and the other half was pretty solid. So I think I'm actually going to be able to get, I've made 2 so far. I think I'll be able to get 5 rolling pins out of that one dead branch. But there were some bug holes to fill, but otherwise it was just really nice to work with.
Very pretty.
Where's
Beautiful
the
figure.
Where's the pith?
The pith is on my firewood pile. So I took a branch that was maybe must have been like about 8 inches in diameter, maybe 9, kind of oval. And the pith was offset, so the pith was only probably 2 or 2.5 inches off from one side. So I milled that off and then sliced up 5 2x2 blanks out of the other side. And then this is one of the rolling pins I've turned out of it so far.
What's the one to the left, to the right, the red one?
That's some flame box elder.
Yeah.
And then the two on the outside are elm. There's on the left is elm sapwood and on the right is elm heartwood. And then the one second from the left is sycamore maple.
Oh, nice.
So Joel, box elder. Joel, when I've made those, Mike Porter here, I've sold those for about between $40 and $50 a piece, and they went like hotcakes.
That's where I'm at right now, and I actually only have one of these left that's in this picture. So I'm glad I sent the picture in early this month, or I wouldn't have had anything to show.
Great.
Okay, next up is KJ.
Hi.
Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica, Kevin Jessica.
Jessica.
I'm a new member somewhat. I've been a couple months now, but this is a piece of birch. It was one of like the first free wood things I got off of Facebook, and I went out there. I was the first one there and grabbed every gnarly piece that I could find. And this was a little crotch, and I had a hole in one of the branches, and a lot of rot and spalting, and just I think it came out to be a beautiful piece of wood. It's a little chunkier than I would have liked, but I was getting some catches and didn't want to keep going and destroy the rim of it there where it's coming apart. But I wanted to share it just because I don't see. I think birch is one of those woods that maybe a lot of people don't care about so much, but this one had a lot of figure in it, and I thought it looked pretty beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you finish it with?
Has just natural, regular color Danish oil on it.
Just Danish oil? Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I didn't make the wood. I just carved it out.
And the next one is you as well.
Yeah. And this one also is
thinner.
This is my first time turning something green thin. And I was impressed with myself that I was able to pull it off. This is another wood that's not real popular. It's some willow. And I think it also just came out just to be a beautiful piece of wood on its own. So I wanted to share that as well in case anybody sees some of that to grab, might be worth your time.
Looks like you got it pretty thin.
It's about 1/8 inch. Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks.
And next we have Steve Newberry.
Hi. So this is a piece of black walnut stump that Dale Larson and I harvested and tigered from the yard of one of my practice partners. We harvested it a couple of years ago, so it's nice and dry, turns really good. And I borrowed Skip Burke's easy, what's it called? Easy Thread, Chefware Kits threading jig, the new one. And the new jig is fantastic. It threads really nice. It's so nice. In fact, I've sent in my old jig and they'll convert it to the new jig for $200. So I put it in the mail today. So if you want a threading jig, that's a really nice threading jig.
Hey, Bill, I think you
finished with OB Shine Juice. OB Shine Juice is a recipe you can get off YouTube. It's equal parts denatured alcohol, shellac, and linseed oil.
Oh, okay. Bill, I think you skipped one of Kevin's bowls.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. That view of it. Yeah, it's the same bowl, but it's just a different view, I think. Right, Kevin?
Oh, okay. It
So,
looked like
sorry about.
looked like a short bowl, but
Yeah.
you're right.
So sorry about. It was
No,
that.
it's just looking
that
down
bowl.
into the same one.
Yeah. Sorry that I missed that. And next up is Tyler. This is beautiful, Tyler.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a hollow form I just finished this week. I got it from Milwaukee Hardwoods. It's about 9 inches wide, 6.5 inches tall. I got a little scared towards the bottom of it, so it's closer to 3/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 inch at the very bottom and 1/4 inch at the top. But yeah, still working on them. They're fun. They're fun to do, so I'm trying to get better at them.
What kind of a hollowing system did you use, Tyler?
Just the John Jordan tools, the standard and the straight hook and the hook.
Okay.
And I just bought some new calipers because mine are not sufficient.
What's the size of it?
9 inches wide and 6.5 inches tall.
Oh, that's pretty wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
I was going to do a bowl out of it, but I thought, well, I could do kind of a neat shaped hollow form with it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I finished it with Danish oil and buffed it up on the Beal buffing system.
Good job.
Very nice. Looks like it was made out of marble.
Was that your first hollowing form attempt?
I've done 2 small ones and then that urn that Bill's about ready to show, but that was my 4th one.
Good.
There's the urn.
Yep. And this is a urn I made out of oak that I got from the wood sale with a Paduk finial.
Nice.
This is for my dog, so it's it's not a human size urn, but I thought it turned out pretty nice for first go at it.
Yeah, very nice.
It's a nice shape.
Thanks.
Yeah, really nice shape. Will Smith has a burled box. Will, are you on? I don't think he is. Well, I don't know what exactly the wood is. Does anyone know?
Looks like maple.
Maple.
Let's see, what did he say? I'm looking at his email. It says this is a maple burl with a tagua nut inlay.
I was gonna say it looked like a candle on top.
Yeah. It's about 3 inches tall and 3 inches wide with an oil and wax finish. The burl was one that I picked up from the Northwoods Figured Woods collection. I won't be around for Thursday's meeting, so picture it is. So that's that. And that is our show and tell for the month of November.
Great.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks everyone for submitting those. It's always fun to see them all together.
Anybody have anything they want to show live?
I have one thing, and I want to know what to do with it. I haven't quite figured it out. It's a bowl that's just a bowl, but it has 2 holes in it.
There's a feature.
Yeah, so I just put a little dowel in there, and I'm gonna maybe do another piece of wood in there rather than just this pine dowel for dowel. And what do you think I should put in here?
Make a yarn bowl out of it.
A what?
Yarn bowl.
A yarn bowl. Oh, that's a good idea.
That's what I was going to say. Put a yarn bowl, and when you put your dowel through there, put a hole in it to put a crochet hook or put the needles in.
Huh.
It's a big ball of yarn.
Well, yeah.
Thanks. I will do that.
Cool.
I think it should be a piercing project, Bill.
It's not that, it's thin, but it's not that thin.
You take about the rest of the year to pierce something that big.
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
putting-
Kathleen, do you want to collaborate on a project?
Okay.
I'm muted. No, I don't. Thank you.
Darn.
So the last thing I had on the agenda here before Kathleen's demo was if anyone has been working on any community service projects, we're going to put a page on our website for community service projects that people are have done and are working on. And, you know, we try to encourage wherever there's a possibility to do something like that to take it and let us know what you're doing. So, okay, Kathleen, I think you're going to be up. Had a great time at Kathleen's house one Saturday morning and spent the whole morning there doing the recording her demo, which she did an excellent job.
I had an excellent videographer. He was a lot of fun to have over here, and he does an incredible job. So thanks,
Okay,
Roger.
Here we go. So I've got the chat window open. If anyone wants to ask a question, you can do it on chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask a question. I'll halt the video and let Kathleen address your question. So